It's like it's just showing the crowd. It's not directly here yet. You want me to ask everyone to sit down? Applause. They're really amazing, amazing individuals. So I was thinking as I visited with family in Chicago over the Thanksgiving holiday, and as I was flying back last night, knowing that we had this beautiful event this evening, I was kind of reflecting and thinking, well, what can I speak about tonight that will be a little bit different than in the past? And what came to mind was the length of time we've been doing this event. So this event started. This is the fourth annual Menorah Lighting here on the grounds of Village Hall. And as I was mentioning to somebody just a short time ago, when the rabbi asks something of you, you just don't say no. But it really turned out to be a wonderful idea. And that evening, 4 years ago, as we were celebrating the first Menorah Lighting, we had probably the same wonderful number of people here. We finished the event, and a very dear friend of mine who I don't see here this evening, Annette Katz, was in the audience, and I, went up and we were chatting, kibitzing a little bit, and she started crying. And it kind of surprised me, because I thought, wow, this is such a wonderful, joyous, happy holiday. And so I said, Annette, what's wrong? Don't cry. It's a fun night. It's a celebration. And she said, yes, I know. These are tears of happiness. I've lived here, and I think I've shared this story with you, Rabbi. I've lived here in the village of Palmetto Bay for many, many years. She's lived here long before it was the village of Palmetto Bay. And this is the first time that I really have this sense of community belonging, coming together to celebrate my holiday, being a part of something that's brand new here in the village that other cities have done for years and years and years. And, it touched me that evening. But when I was rethinking about it, as I was flying back home here to Palmetto Bay from Chicago, I was thinking of her words, which were a greater sense of belonging. I felt a greater sense of belonging to my community. And, community is such a wonderful thing. And here in the village of Palmetto Bay, it really is. As you travel throughout the village of Palmetto Bay, it's a beautiful community. It's a kind community. It's a compassionate community. And we're all a part of little mini communities within the village, much like all of you being a part of, or many of you being a part of, the Chabad. But I think what I wanted to convey was the bigger sense of community. These have been some really difficult times. If you fast forward from 4 years ago to where we are today, they've been some really hard times. And there have been happy times mixed in there, but it's been very unusual and challenging times. And I think one of the things that I saw the most, which probably like many of you, was that disconnect from community, especially during the height of the pandemic, not being able to gather, not being able to even see close family members, not being able to come for services. I mean, the good thing that came out of that was we use a lot of media now, right? So we've got that virtual component. But there's nothing like, coming together as a community to feel that sense of belonging to community and to something that's bigger. And so I think the message I want to convey tonight is, as we kind of move through the holiday season, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, whether you're Christian and you celebrate Christmas, or whether you celebrate nothing at all over the next month, let's each find a way to build more community here in the village of Palmetto Bay and the surrounding communities all across Miami-Dade. Let's build more community. Maybe you'll find a way to build community by distributing baskets around the holidays, as my colleague and friend Pat Fiore does. Or perhaps you'll embark on an initiative to rebuild the pine rockland over in Palmetto Bay Park, building that sense of history and community, or spending some time illustrating children's books to share, using your time and talent to share with our community, or all the number of things that you do in building community, from scouting to the junior league. So whatever your passion is, if you leave here tonight, and I'm sure you're going to have an amazing speaker in a little bit, but if you leave here tonight with something, find a way over this holiday season to build a deeper sense of community in whatever your passion is. I can tell you I'm very, very proud to be able to serve alongside the rabbi and his beautiful wife and my colleagues And I look forward to many more celebrations and happy times in the days, weeks, and months to come. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues, if you'll bear with us just for a moment, to say a couple of words each. And I'm going to pass it to Councilwoman Matson.
Well, happy Hanukkah, everybody. And I would like to invite you to an orchestra performance that I play a flute in an orchestra. And we are having a holiday concert on December 19th at 6 p.m. It's free at Kendall United Methodist Church. It has many Hanukkah songs in it, as well as Christmas songs and secular songs. So I hope you all will come. That's December 19th, a Sunday at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming this evening. Happy Hanukkah. I was telling Rabbi Gansberg the first special event I went to after my first election in 2010 was the Menorah Lighting down on Old Cutler Road. I was there with my friend, former council member Tendrick. And so this is 11 years later, and I met the Gansbergs at that time. So let's always try to keep God first in this, and Bezrat Hashem, we'll all be here next year.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah to everyone. Growing up here in Miami in the 50s and the 60s, we had a wonderful neighborhood where everybody just was. The houses behind us were occupied by the Talbots and the Steins. I had it all figured out by the time I was 5 that I was going to marry Wendy Stein and then build a house on top of my parents' house, and that's how we do it. But in being part of that kind of community, I came to understand that Hanukkah, not only the historical Hanukkah, but the symbolic Hanukkah, teaches that a single light isn't going to be enough to push back the darkness, but hundreds of lights, thousands of lights, millions of lights together can chase the darkness away. So I'm hoping that in this Hanukkah season, we all enjoy light and all of its meanings. Thank you for coming.
I don't want to follow Steve anymore. The thing that comes to mind for me is that aside from the fact that Hanukkah is coming so early this year that some of you moms in the audience might be a little bit behind on things, it's a great year for Hanukkah. Yeah? Okay. It's a great year for Hanukkah to come early. It's a great year for the season of miracles to be upon us, and for us to gather together and, as Karen said, create community and new beginnings. And I hope for each and every one of you that you feel welcome here at Village Hall, that you feel celebrated and included, and that you find your community and you grow it within Palmetto Bay. Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Thank you. Let's give them, they're really amazing to work with, and you can see why. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get the council to sit down, and I will introduce, may I introduce this, or may I pass it off to you to say a few words?
Okay, sorry, it's fine. Start with the remarks, first remark. Chag Sameach, happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, Hanukkah 2021 here at the village of Palmetto Bay. Thank you, Karen, for making history 4 years ago, having a menorah here. This will be one of your many legacies in many years to come. On Hanukkah, we celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah. What is the miracle of Hanukkah? The Maccabees had a war with the mighty Greek army, and then a little detail happened in the Bet HaMikdash, in the Holy Temple, that some oil that would last only for 1 day lasted for 8 days. When we celebrate Hanukkah, we celebrate the oil. We don't talk about the victory of the Maccabees over the Greek army. Yes, when we sing it in the prayers, but at our table, in the streets, what we see a menorah. We don't mention anything about the war. The teaching of Hanukkah is about focusing every day on the positive, not at the negative. Even when you have a war, even when you have to fight with something, with someone, you could either go with negativity or with positive energy. The Rebbe taught us, the Lubavitcher Rebbe taught us, to conquer the world with positive energy, with mitzvot, to take over the world. There was once a artist understood this concept of the Rebbe to bring positive energy all over the world and to conquer the world. So he made a beautiful drawing, a beautiful painting of a very big train going very, very fast and pushing a very, very big wall. And his message was that if you go very, very fast and you do a lot of positive mitzvot, a lot of good things, then you could break even the biggest wall. When the Rebbe looked at this painting, the Rebbe says, no. Perhaps make a painting of a very small tree next to the wall, and slowly, the tree grows and the branches go all over, and slowly, the branches and the tree break the wall. If we want to make a change, when we wake up in the morning and we have things that go against us, either we could focus on that we are at war and look at it negative energy, or just what can I do to be more positive? How can my job be better? How can I serve my community? How can I serve the world much better? And this is the message of Hanukkah. Hanukkah Sameach.
Chag Sameach, everybody. It's wonderful to see so many of you here celebrating with us the first night of Hanukkah. It's a great way to start it off. And I would like to call upon a good friend of ours, a resident of Palmetto Bay, somebody who's a very dedicated student of mine, I should say. She comes to my weekly classes, and their whole family, such a wonderful family, great friends of ours. Florencia Eskenazi, she'll come and share a few words with us.
Good evening. So my message ties in with everybody's message of community and having hope. And Hanukkah is one of my family's favorite holidays of the year. The candle lighting, the prayers, the delicious fried sufganiyot, donuts, and latkes, the gifts, the gelt, and especially Hanukkah songs that fill our home. Especially in my house, we love to sing. As we celebrate it today, it's a pretty joyous holiday, like the rabbi said. You know, the lights, the Chanukiah, the lighting. But we must also tell the gloomy story behind it, the one that preceded our triumph. Jews lived under strict Greek rule where they were not allowed to practice their Judaism. It was Hashem by their side who unleashed a set of miracles at that time. With these miracles and the bravery of these men, against all odds, they pulled their community through all the hardships. Every year, we tell our children the story of Hanukkah, because the struggles that Jews went through and their perseverance to rebuild their community together is one of the most important lessons of this holiday in reality. We're so blessed to live in a country where we can observe our religious holidays and our customs. Any religious holidays, any customs that you choose. We're also fortunate to be part of this Palmetto Bay community and especially part of Chabad, where we feel very welcomed. Rabbi Gansberg and Hani bring us all together and remind us that loving your neighbor is the key to living a peaceful life. So tonight, as we light the first candle with the rabbi, we should be thankful for all these blessings that we have in our life. We must remember that small group of men that fought during that time and that still do today. Make sure that we can tell our children today the story of Hanukkah, because in reality it's a miracle that we're still here and we're still fighting. So thank you everybody for coming. Chag Sameach.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful, Florencia. And now I'd like to turn it over to Rivka Gansberg, and she is going to tell us something about Igal Bernstein. Rivka?
Chag Sameach, everyone. So, Igal Bernstein, an Israeli-born and bred scientist making discoveries that are impacting the world as a whole, strengthened his connection to Judaism in our village, the family-oriented village of Palmetto Bay. Igal is a world-renowned scientist focusing on bettering our world from the depths of our ocean. Igal is a true example of what it means to do tikkun olam on a daily basis. He is focused on finding just how deep oil spills and pollution is hitting the ocean, knowing they reach deeper than what's shown in satellite footprints. Finding the extent of the problem to find the fastest, safest, and constructive solution is his passion. His focus on bettering the world for us and generations to come is recognized worldwide. Presently, he is working on a breakthrough discovery that will change the course science deals with pollution and oil spills, ensuring a cleaner environment and water for years to come. Igal, when you get your Nobel Prize, don't forget us, the community of Palmetto Bay. Igal, Nama, and their beautiful children, Tom, Or, and Maya, strengthen their connection to Judaism at Chabad of Palmetto Bay, a place where family comes first, and we are here to help one another. He found his place here, a place where all are welcome with open arms without judgment. He continues to make a difference in our community and the world at large. I would like to call up Igal to kindle the first light of the Hanukkah menorah of 2021.
Thank you, everyone. It's a big, big honor. So, dear guests, City of Palmetto Bay, community and mayor committee, I'm very much honored to light the first candle of Hanukkah, and this very special time. This is a magical time of miracles, and we all need a miracle. So I'm a marine scientist, and I study the health of the oceans and the marine environment, trying to understand better how these complex systems work and how they are affected by human activity and climate change, and how humans are affected from what is going on in the marine environment. Now, maybe not everybody knows this, but us humans are completely dependent on the marine environment, as it produces oxygen, it regulates temperature, it provides us with clean drinking water, it absorbs carbon dioxide, it contains hundreds of thousands of species, it provides nutrition and livelihood to millions of people. Yet at the same time, these vast assets, which once seemed infinite, is quickly deteriorating and is under threat of pollution, overfishing, and climate change. So I try in my research to look at the little details that make a very big difference. For example, the fact that oil spills are toxic to marine life even when they are not visible, and that they reach further and last longer than what was previously believed. And when these oil spills interact with sunlight, for example, they become 100 times more toxic to marine life than oil alone. I also look, for example, on the behavior of baby fish, how they react to environmental cues, how they find their way in the open ocean, And although it seems like a not so important question, it is very important, because what happens is that we fish the ocean and we catch a lot of fish, and then one day the fisheries collapse and the fish disappear. And when we try to look into the cause of these phenomena, we often find out that it starts with the baby fish. So we really need to understand their biology, their behavior, and using that we can perhaps prevent these immense collapses and at least predict them. And this affects millions of people around the world and amounts to losses of billions of dollars worldwide. So looking at these type of questions about the marine environment, in a way I'm trying to do a tikkun olam, an amendment, in which we as humanity try to take responsibility for our actions on the planet, to understand our oceans better, to understand what have we done wrong, and perhaps what can we do to fix it. And so, for example, when we as a humanity let our sewage and fertilizer and pesticides flow through our creeks and rivers to the ocean, we will cause dead zones, areas without oxygen, that will kill many, many fish and will elicit toxic algal blooms that will harm the environment and eventually harm people. Similarly, at the individual level, we can say, do, or even feel something negative that will have long-lasting effects on our lives without even realizing the connection. So for me, tikkun olam is to understand as much as possible the mechanisms of cause and effect in the natural world and in my own spiritual, personal world, and to do the best to improve the situation. Now, we came to Palmetto Bay from Israel a few years ago to be able to work on these topics with leading scientists in the University of Miami and other universities in the US, and we found a warm and loving community here. We love this community, and of course, the Chabad of Palmetto Bay, the Ginsburg family, Schneer and Hani and their lovely children. And if we are talking about light in this holiday, these people and the House of Chabad in Palmetto Bay is full of light, and everybody who knows them know exactly what I'm talking about. And so sometimes you need to come all the way from Israel to Palmetto Bay to be able to light your own personal candle and get connected with your own spirituality. And Rabbi Ginsburg has helped me tremendously to get closer to my spirituality, and I'm very thankful for that. And similarly, as humanity, we need to strive to do a tikkun with ourselves, with family, with the people and the environment around us. And with this, I would like to thank everyone and say Chag Sameach, Happy Chanukah.
Yigal will light the menorah in a minute.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I know. Should I say the blessing?
You're going to hold it first.
Okay. Okay. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם Oh, it's in English. Sorry. אשר, תראה לי? אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר חנוכה.
אמן.
איפה אתה? איפה? ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. I cannot sing.
מזבח אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח. Now one more time with the music. מה רוצו ישועתי לך לשבח, תיקו בתפילתי ושם תודה נזבח. ננחים מטבח תכין מטבח מצרם נטבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח. We would like to thank Celine and all the amazing staff of Palmetto Bay. We would like to thank our volunteer of the day, Dale Goldman. Dale, where's Dale? Thank you very much. Together with all our volunteers. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach. Mendel. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Want to tell people to stay around and dance? You're welcome. Want to do that now? Ask them if they want to stay around. Dance. Do you want to say?
Everyone's welcome to stay around, enjoy some more latkes and donuts.
הכאב ייגמר, רק צריך להאמין שאפשר לחכות עד מחר. מה שהיה, היה ועבר, עוד לא קרה שיום חזר. מה שהיה, היה ונגמר, מה שיהיה זה כל מה שנשאר. מה שהיה תם ונשלם, אתה כבר לא הולך לשם. מה שהיה היה ונזכר, מה שפתוח זה רק המחר. מחר השמש תזרח וכולנו נשמח ולא נצטרך עוד לבכות. מחר הכל יתפנה, הכאב ייגמר, רק צריך להאמין שאפשר לחכות. שהיה, היה ונגמר, מה שיהיה זה כל מה שנשאר. מה שאתה ונשלם, אתה כבר לא הולך לשם. מה שהיה, היה ונסגר, מה שפתוח זה רק המחר. What was yesterday is gone into the past. Now a better day is on its way at last. And in the morning we're all gonna see the sun. It'll be alright, hold on tight, cause you know tomorrow's gonna come. מחר השמש תזרח, כולנו נשמח. מחר הכל יתבהר, רק צריך להאמין שאפשר לחכות עד מחר השמש תזרח, וכולנו נשמח, ולא נצטרך עוד לבכות. מחר הכל יתבהר, הכאב ייגמר, רק צריך להאמין שאפשר לחכות.
Schwache Hallen wie sind da. Unsere Menschen lohnen Zeit und Love, Bruder. Viele wissen Fedes, viele wissen Fedes. Geht du schon mal gut.
שיר שפחה על ביזם רו אוי זו ממשלה נצחת לא גורו תהילו וסיפרס תהילו וסיפרס קידושו מלכות
ילכו נועה השם אלוקינו ואלוקי אבותינו לכו נועה השם אלוקינו
רחמס וירידויס לשמחו לשמחו גדול והקדוש רחמס וירידויס לשמחו הגדול הגדול והקדוש
רחמס וירידויס לשמחו לשמחו הגדול והקדוש רחמס וירידויס לשמחו הגדול הגדול והקדוש
No fighter plane, no battleship can crash what's pure and sweet. It's that last drop of oil, it just won't see defeat. It keeps our little hub in flame, dancing to the beat. It's that last drop of oil, we'll take it to the street. And we'll blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. chaloshim. Rabbi Biati, I'll be a nest. I'll be your bright light. I'll be your miracle.
We want to remind everybody that next Sunday, December 5th, we have an amazing grand Hanukkah celebration in Coral Reef Park, our annual Hanukkah celebration. It's going to be from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We have incredible stuff going on, new stuff this year. There's going to be the regular, delicious kosher barbecue and other great activities for kids, bounce houses, game truck, crafts, a lot of fun for everybody. And we hope to see you all there. Chag Sameach.
Face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell all your stories, be a miracle of light. No smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Canto destino, canto nikmosam. You boy be at chaloshim. Rabbi biat, I'll be a nest. I'll be your bright light. I'll be a miracle. I'll be your miracle of light. I'll be